Hello and welcome. Welcome to Little Likac podcast. My name is Amanda and this is episode 81. This is a knitting and a little bit of crochet podcast coming to you from Derby in the UK. Thank you if you are a regular viewer and subscriber, thank you very, very much. And if you're new to the channel, then please do consider subscribing if you enjoy it. And if you click the little bell icon, then you'll get a notification every time I upload a video. Okay, I'm just adding this in as part of my introduction. I have finished recording the podcast and realised there's something I completely forgot to mention. So I'm going to mention this now at the beginning. One of the things that I am planning on doing over the next few weeks, sorry if you can hear a little bit of grumbling, my dog Stu has joined us and I'm not sure what he's grumbling at. I can't even see anything out in the garden this afternoon. Anyway, one of the things that I'm going to be filming over the next few weeks, I want to do the 12 cast ons of Christmas again, like I did last year, which will be me vlogging every day from the 24th of December for 12 days over Christmas and the New Year, casting on a new project for every day for 12 days. I've made a list. Currently that list is over 20. So over the next few weeks I'm going to be popping up some videos where I'm going to be giving two alternatives of should I cast on this or that. They will be very short videos, probably only about 5 minutes long, where I will give you a brief overview of the two projects that I am considering, and then I'll be asking you to vote and comment below on the video to say which one you think I should cast on, and the winning one each time will make it into the 12 cast ons. So look out for those because I'm going to start filming those hopefully this weekend. I'm going to start filming them and I will be putting them up maybe 2 a week over the next, would that be 6 weeks? 2 or 3 a week anyway, over the next few weeks on the build up towards the 12 cast ons on the 24th of December. Right, now back to the podcast. So today is Saturday, November the 16th, and it's about, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 to 3 in the afternoon. If you're a regular viewer, you might see it's a slightly different angle from my usual podcast. As I think I mentioned on the last one, I'm having a little bit of a sort out and clear out down here and things are moving around and changing. And you will potentially see more of that happen over the coming months. So today it will be a shorter episode than the last one. I have got sort of 2 finished objects to show you, new cast-ons, purchases, and also I am going to do a little bit of a shop update at the end as well, which I don't usually do, but I am going to do that today because I have got some things that are kind of time sensitive to talk to you about. We'll start with what I'm wearing because I am wearing my, what's it called? Whitmore sweater. My Whitmore sweater in sparkly acrylic that I finished earlier this year. It was one of my make 9s for this year. I've worn it a few times now and I do really like the sparkle on it, and yeah, it just goes to show that actually sometimes you can make a purse from a sow's ear. Is that the saying? I know the saying is that you can't, but I think you can because this is actually quite cheap, nasty acrylic, but I do love the actual finished product. And you might be thinking, why am I saying that I knitted something in cheap, nasty acrylic? Because it was in my stash from when I bought it many, many years ago, planning on doing something Christmassy. I can't remember who for now. But anyway, I had loads of it in my stash and I just wanted to use it because I did love the colour, and yeah, I love it. I am not a yarn snob. Well, I say I'm not a yarn snob. I do like nice luxury yarns. I try to avoid buying acrylic these days, but there are some times when I do. So there you go. I do like a bargain, but yeah, I buy yarn that I like. Right, so okay, finished objects. So why haven't I got so much done? Because health update. I broke my elbow almost 8 weeks ago. So for the first few weeks after I broke my elbow, I didn't knit very much. And then actually I started to be able to knit again, and then I had a few weeks where I did a lot of knitting because I wasn't at work and not doing much else. Now I have gone back to work. I've been back to work 1 week And the week before that my brother came to visit as well, and we went out and did a few things over those days as well. So didn't get as much knitting done over the last 2 weeks. Have gone back to work. I am taking it easy. I am kind of on a reduced timetable at work. That's going to increase more this week, but that has worked really well because it was very tiring when I first went back, and I'm trying to take things easy, even though I am also now preparing for a yarn show that I'm doing next weekend. So I'm just trying to balance everything. And yeah, so let me just quickly mention the yarn show. The yarn show is called Wool in the Garden, and it is being held at Welwyn Garden City, which is in, I don't know which county it is. Hertfordshire? I think it's Hertfordshire. Anyway, down near London. That's really bad. Anyway, so yeah, Welwyn Garden City. It is a one-day show on Sunday the 24th of November. So I have been preparing some things for that, and yeah, really excited about that next week. My husband, bless him, is coming down to help me because I still can't lift and carry anything too heavy. So he's going to come down and help me carry the heavy stuff and get set up. Yeah, so that is next week. Okay, so let's show you then finished objects. The main finished object is a Christmas present, and it is a very large pair of socks. I'll hold them that way, like that. A very large pair of socks for my daughter's boyfriend for Christmas. You can see these are on very classy cardboard cutout sock blockers. Nothing but the best on here. Partly because these are larger sock blockers than my sort of standard actual wooden ones that I've got. These are bigger, and this is a bigger pair of socks. This is a big pair of socks partly because the young man and gentleman has got size 11 feet, but also he wanted a pair of socks that he could wear over normal socks in his work boots. So I made them a little bit bigger. So these are knitted on 2.5mm needles with 72 stitches, and then just a plain stocking stitch, vanilla as we call it, sock pattern. I always do cuff down because I don't like doing toe up, and obviously we've got a contrasting colour for heels, toes and cuffs. Now I can't be 100% certain where I had got to on these the last time you saw me done 2 weeks ago. I have got a progress keeper here, but that might just have been to mark the beginning of the round, so I don't know. I think I was on the second sock. Pretty sure I was on the second sock. So we're going to take a guess that maybe I've done all of that since I last saw you, but I can't be sure because I put progress keepers in different parts of the sock because I change when my beginning of round is in different places, etc. Let me just tell you though about the yarn that I used. So the main yarn is this, which is this yarn, which is Fortissima Soccer Mexico colour. The colourway is, in fact, I think I looked this up before, something about Mexico. Doesn't say on here. I must have had that from my Ravelry. And the company, I really don't want to try and pronounce this, but I will. Something like Schoeller and Stahl, or Schoeller Stahl. And everything is in German, so we are guessing it is a German sock. Yeah, so a pretty good workhorse sock yarn I would describe this as, which hopefully will be good in somebody's work boots. 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide, so it's not merino wool, but it's not bad, you know, it's certainly soft enough for socks. And the blue, and that's all I've got left of the blue. The blue was a Drops Fabel solid colour that I had from a pair of socks I knitted a few years ago. I'm afraid I don't know the colourway. I had 26 grams of that because I wasn't 100% sure if 20 grams would be enough for heels, toes and cuffs on a bigger sock like this. I haven't weighed, I don't know how much I've got left. But anyway, 26 grams was definitely enough but I wouldn't say I've got a huge amount left. So yes, they are done. They are done and they are going to be gifted, and because they are a pair of gift socks, I have got some of these lovely ball bands from Tilly Flop Designs, and I think I'm probably going to use that one to go around these socks. Oh no, actually maybe these. Excuse me, because they're not particularly festive or Christmas socks, so maybe I'll use this one. A pair of socks is not just for Christmas. So these are from Tilly Flop Designs. She does have a website, I think, if I remember rightly. I was looking to see if I could see what the website is, if she's on Etsy or if she's got her own website. I can't see that, but anyway, these bands are brilliant for wrapping around your socks to make them look nice when you, if you are gifting them to somebody. Okay, let me just put this rusty stuff to one side. Next up on finished objects, it's a little bit of a cheap one, this one, because this is a finished object that is part of a bigger object. So it is a blanket square for the log cabin blanket that I am making, and I am using scraps and minis of sock yarn held double, and then also I've got some cream sock yarn that I'm using, and all the squares have got a couple of blocks of this cream as well. So this is the square that I've done over the last couple of weeks. I had been doing one square a week, but I've slowed down a little bit. I'll show you why, because I cast on a couple of things that I wanted to get finished for the Woollen Garden show next weekend. Don't think I'm going to get both of those finished anyway, but so yeah, so I've only got one of these done in the last 2 weeks. I can't tell you anything specific about any of the yarns, because some of them, I think, or most of these, I think, came out of a swap advent calendar that I did last year. So yeah, I just picked out colours that I thought went together quite well as also weighing them to check I've got enough of each one to do each section. But it's coming together really well. I have now done 7 of the 9 squares. Yeah, that was square 7. Just started square 8, but I think I've left that up in the house, and I've only done literally one small square that size of it anyway. So you'll have to wait till the next podcast for the update on that. So the pattern for this is the Logalicious blanket, which is by Louise Tilbrook, and in that pattern you get the pattern for 4 different types of squares that you can use to make a log cabin blanket. So you could use just the same square or the same design in the same in many squares, or the same design and just keep knitting it bigger and bigger, or you can mix and match the designs, which is what I'm doing. Okay, so those are my only kind of finished objects for this podcast. However, I have been making progress on other things, so let me show you. So the next one I'm going to show you is in here. I had cast this on the last time I saw you 2 weeks ago, and it is a shawl. It's my first brioche attempt, but I haven't reached the brioche section yet. I had hoped that I was going to reach the brioche section by this weekend so that I could do the brioche over the weekend and take it slowly and steady. I haven't reached that, so this is not going to be ready for the show next week. So the shawl pattern is called All About the Brioche, and it just has a simple strip of brioche in the middle. So I've got that much done, which is just garter stitch with this kind of shaping. The progress keeper is where I had got to last time you saw this, so I'm going to move that now. That's also as well telling me which is the right side, so I can keep checking where I'm up to, because this part of the pattern is a 4-row, maybe, no, 8-row pattern repeat, I think, for the shaping. So yeah, I was working on this hoping to at least be halfway through this, having done the brioche section, so that I would have it finished for the show next weekend. It's not going to happen. The yarns I'm using are two of my own Little Likac yarns. It's in the luxury sock in these two colours. These were colourways from Mystery Club that I did 2 years ago, and I confessed last time that I couldn't remember which colours they were. But my luxury yarn is 85% merino, 15% nylon, and it's really plump and soft. It's going to make a lovely squishy shawl when it does get finished. So I think that one now is going to get put to one side because it's not going to get finished in time for next weekend. So I haven't really got a deadline for it now, and I've got other things that I have got a deadline for. Just looking at the state of my hair. I'm really sorry that my hair looks, really probably needs washing. Never mind. It's real life here. Okay, what else have I been working on? So you did see this cast on last time as well. This is the Socksy and You Know It socks for November. And I am using the yarn Badger, which is in a 80% merino sparkle, 20% nylon, in the colourway Hydrangea. So you can see it is a sparkly ball band, it is a sparkly yarn. We have one sock finished. I suppose I could put that on a sock blocker. Give me a minute. It's going to be another fancy cardboard one. Now, again, I don't know where I'd got to on these last time I saw you because I haven't kept the progress keeper in the right place. There is a progress keeper on here, but again, I think that was just to mark the beginning of the round while I was doing the toes. But here we are. Look at this beautiful stripy colourway. I will take the progress keeper off of here and put it on the other sock, so that next time we know where we got to. So I have finished one sock and I am nearly finished the leg on the second sock. So we're nearly at the heel flap time. So this is for the Socksy and You Know It make along or knit along. So thank you to everybody who is joining in with this knit along. I have picked out my colours for next year, and I'm going to be doing a separate video showing those colours and talking all about the make along. So if you don't know anything about the Socksy and You Know It knit along, if you make sure you subscribe to my channel, and you'll see a video coming up probably in the next week, because I think I'm going to record it maybe today or tomorrow. I'm going to record that video showing all the yarns that I've picked out for next year for that make along. So look out for that and you'll have more information. I did draw some prize winners last podcast as well. One person has claimed, so the person who had won for the would have been the September socks, they have claimed their prize. But I also drew a prize just from the chatter thread, and that's not been claimed yet. So if that person, so if you have been on the chatter thread at all this year on Ravelry for the Socksy and You Know It make along, and you haven't watched episode 80 of the podcast, go back and watch it, because you never know, you might have won a ball of wool or a ball of yarn from me. So, and now we will move on to a new cast on. I suddenly decided, because I do this at short notice, I decided I was going to knit something in one of my DK yarns to show as a sample at the show next weekend. And so I found a really, well actually no, I didn't find it. I asked on one of my on one of my knitting groups, I asked if anybody had a recommendation for a free pattern for a DK hat, preferably with something made with cables in, because I do like a nice cable hat. And this one was suggested to me. It's called the Lake Reed hat, and I think it was Sarah who suggested it, so thank you. It's knitting up beautifully. This colourway is the Abbotsea colourway in the DK sock yarn. So it is 75% merino, superwash merino, 25% nylon. A little bit, well, my ball is falling apart here. Let me just try and sort that a little bit. Anyway, so it's in the Abbotsea colourway. Try and take the glare off of it. Yeah, that's not a bad likeness actually for the colour. And it will be the fold up brim, and I think I'm going to put a pom-pom on it as well. So it's a really nice pattern. You have got cabling up here, which I am using a cable needle for. This is just like a twisted stitch here, and then this bit, I can't really describe it. You don't need a cable needle for that bit. And it's how many row? 12 row repeat on this bit of the pattern. It is charted. The pattern's really good. It's a free pattern. It's called Lake Reed. Can't remember the name of the person, but I'll put it down below. But it is both, there's a chart and written instructions for the pattern, for the cable. I'm using the chart. I always used to follow the instructions because back in the day when I first started knitting, for cables and things like that, you only had charts if it was colour work. You didn't tend to have charts for cable or lace on the kind of patterns I bought 30 years ago, because they were all like commercial patterns from like Sirdar, King Cole, Wendy, etc. And it's only really been since the last maybe 20 years that I started buying patterns digitally, etc., and therefore then you start to get more things in the UK anyway with charts for cables and lace and things like that. So I'll use either, but now my preference is definitely chart, because with a chart I can look at the chart and see exactly where I'm at, etc. With the written, I have to really carefully keep track of where I'm at. Anyway, so that hopefully will be finished for next week. It will be finished for next weekend, and it's going to have a pom-pom put on it, not a bobble, a pom-pom, and because I've got some pom-poms as well that I'm going to sell on at the show next week as well. So that is coming on really nicely, and I think it's a hat I would wear as well. Right, and the last thing to show you before I show you the shop update, so it is a short one this week, is a yarn that I have bought from, well, I bought it through Nibbles, Needles and Hooks, which if you're a regular viewer you will know that that is a yarn shop that is localish to me, and I love it because it is a cafe and yarn shop and a whole knit and natter community there. You can guarantee anytime you go there will be other people sat in there knitting and chatting, and everybody just talks to each other, and it's lovely, lovely vibe. So she sells some yarn from three or four local hand dyers, one of which is Lisa, and her company is called And Knit. It's called And Knit, and she specialises in self-striping yarn, and she had done a Christmas colourway this year that I had seen online and being knitted up, and I thought it just looked lovely. And it is this. Now it's called Quality Feet, and I had bought it thinking I was going to put it into my 12 yarns for the Socks Union. Now, make along next year, but now I'm not so sure because it's actually 70% merino, 20% yak and 10% nylon. And I know in theory it would be fine for socks, but don't you think it's a bit too beautiful? Or cashmere, cashmere, yak, to have cashmere for socks. So I need to have a think about that. So yeah, it might make it into my 12 for next year, but I don't know. I might consider doing maybe a cowl with it instead. So yes, not 100% certain yet. But it's called Quality Feet, and it's a pun on Quality Street, which is a type of chocolates that you get over here that most people only tend to buy at Christmas time, and these are colours of some of the different wrapping of the chocolates that you get. So yeah, I'm just now not 100% certain whether to put this into the pile for the sock sleeve make along next year or not. That is what I bought it for, but I didn't realise it had yak. Right, so that is it to show you what I've knitted on for the last couple of weeks. So if you don't want to see the shop update, then that is fine. Oh, actually though, if you don't want to know about the shop update, just one thing I will say: if you are a UK resident, I am doing a giveaway currently. Today is November the 16th. This giveaway closes at midnight on November the 17th, Sunday, November the 17th UK time. And it is, I'm afraid, only open to the UK residents because of the cost of shipping and customs charges and things like that if it got sent abroad. But what can you win? This is in collaboration with 2 other makers. So I am giving away one of my 4-week advent calendars. So you get 4 100 grams of luxury sock yarn with stitch markers and a bag as well to keep the yarn in. There is also a project bag and notions pouch, which I'll put a picture of here, from Jo at Pickle Lily. So you win the advent calendar, which has already got a bag, then that project bag and notions pouch. Then there are some beaded stitch markers, again I'll put a photo here, from Roro and Cade's, and also a digital copy of her pattern for the Storm Seeker tee. So all together, all of those prizes are in the giveaway, but you need to enter that through Instagram. So you need to go to my Instagram profile or Pickle Lily's or Roro and Cade's. I will put that information down below. You need to go to any of 3 of those Instagram accounts. You need to be following all 3 of those Instagram accounts and need to leave a comment tagging somebody else on that reel, okay? But entries do close at midnight on Sunday. So if you're watching this after midnight, Sunday the 17th of November, then I'm afraid entries have closed. But don't miss out on that if it's before that. But as I say, I'm afraid it is for UK residents only. Right, now, let me show you a couple of bits that I have put into the shop this weekend, and I do post internationally for the shop. So we have my Christmas colourway for this year, and I've only been able to dye a few of these because of my injury. I have not been able to dye very much at all over the last couple of months, and so I've only done a very small amount of dyeing, so there's only a very limited number of these. But we do have this sock set, or mini set, 5 20-gram minis. This is just available in the gold stellina, and it's called One Day in December, and you've got a darker red, a darker green, a paler green, a paler red, and then this one which has cream, green and red. Now that is also available as a full 100 gram skein. There's this one with the stellina, and it's also available just in the luxury, no stellina, 85% merino, 15% nylon. Again, only a few of these. If I have any left, they will be coming to Wool and Garden City with me. However, they are going into the shop this week. So it's called One Day in December. And the other one that I've done with a kind of a Christmas theme, thinking back to the Nutcracker Advent Calendar that I did a couple of years ago, this one is called Land of Sweets. And we have 5 shades of pastel-y prettiness. Again, only available in the stellina, gold stellina. So we've got the sort of blue, turquoise, pink, and there's sort of 2 shades of purple there. So that's called Land of Sweets, and again there's just a very few of those in the shop, because like I say, I've really not been able to dye very much at all the last couple of months. Luckily over the summer I did quite a lot of extra dyeing when I was dyeing for the advent calendars. I did dye quite a lot of extra stuff that I kept out of the shop because I knew I had this show coming up. Which was just as well really, as I say, because I've been very limited on what I can do. My husband has been brilliant helping me anytime I've done anything that's required any heavy lifting, etc. He has been doing that for me, and has been such a help. That is it. That is it for now. After Wool and Garden City, I will pop back onto Etsy any other yarns that aren't in the shop yet, but I decided to put the Christmas ones on Etsy as well this week, so look out for that. Certainly by the time the podcast is up and running, then those yarns will be listed on Etsy. Thank you for watching. Sorry it's such a short one, but look out for other videos coming up over the next couple of weeks. Thanks everybody. Bye.